Good morning. My name is Nikul Patel, and today I'll be talking about how the limitations of the First Amendment right of students is actually protecting them in schools. My solution to my claim is tell students exactly what they can and can't do. Because when you can tell students what they can and can't do, they know what to do then. So, first off, I'll be going off the First Amendment. The First Amendment formally states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or the press to right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government or redress of grievance. Piggybacking off of the First Amendment is the time, place, and manner restrictions. So the time, place, and manner restrictions kind of keep the First Amendment rights under control, so people don't abuse them too much. Time, place, and manner basically state when you can use your First Amendment rights properly, where you can use your First Amendment rights properly, and how you use them. A good example of this is a case that was listed by Recent.com where a boy wore a shirt depicting a gun and was suspended from school. This is an example of how place restrictions apply to that student because it promotes harm within a peaceful place. Another example is time. A few days ago, at the UCF campus, a boy wore a live shotgun ammunition to school as part of his costume, but he was told to take it off and he was handcuffed. This is an example of time because it correlates to the current events, such as shootings. My first case is Tinker versus Des Moines. Tinker versus Des Moines was a case between Mary Beth Tinker and John Tinker versus the School of Des Moines. It started off when Christopher Eckhart and a group of students planned to wear black armbands to school to protest the Vietnam War. Eventually, the principals caught wind of this and they made a policy stating that any student wearing an armband would be asked to remove it, and with refusal to do so will result in suspension. Even then, the students came wearing black armbands. The students, with the help of their parents, went to court to the school, and the district court ruled in favor of the school, and so did the United States Court of Appeal for the 8th Circuit. But after that, the family went to Supreme Court, and on February 24th, 1969, 7 of the 9 judges of the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Tinker. My next case is Frazier versus Bethel. This person is Matthew Frazier, who during a speech for one of his fellow candidates for student government used a sexual innuendo. Because of this, he was suspended. When they took this case to the Supreme Court, they ran it through the Tinker test. The Tinker test was a result of after the events of Tinker versus Des Moines, which Supreme Courts use to rule cases like this for the First Amendment. After running it through the Tinker test, it failed, so they did not continue forward. Now, here's a quote from Mr. William Rock, who is an AP US history teacher. Students don't get their full rights to the First Amendment until the age of 18, which is a pretty big kicker considering that we're all students and we all have a right. But as stated by Mr. Rock, we don't have a full right to the First Amendment until the age of 18. Now, student options to stay under the school and kind of not go over the bounds is to ask for permission ahead of time. So if you're going to wear something that might be controversial, maybe go up to someone and ask them, hey, is this okay to wear? Don't challenge authority because they know what's best for you. They're trying to protect you from things that might harm you. And last of all, tell students what rights they have. This is very important. Actually, Mary Beth Tinker, who is a part of the Tinker vs. Des Moines case, actually toured school telling kids their rights. Thank you. What questions do you have?
Okay, 2 questions for you. First one, how valid and reliable were the sources that you used, and how do you know?
Most of my sources were quite reliable. Some of them weren't too reliable, but were used for their examples more than their reliability. Yeah.
Okay. And next question. If you had more time, what additional research would you conduct related to this issue?
If I had more time, I would try and conduct my own research, probably go out and talk to people that know what they're doing, and probably conduct a few surveys and ask if what the people are doing is right or wrong.
Why do you see that as being better than the other form of research?
I don't necessarily see that being better, but in that way I would be sure of what I'm reading is right. That way I know that my sources are more credible than what I'm reading on the net.
All right, cool. Thank you.